Apple is expected to unveil the iPhone 5 later today, but we probably already know what it looks like. Now, these pictures from the Japanese blog iLab show what we expect to be the iPhone 5's external case, and it matches what we've been told that the new iPhone will look like. The phone is expected to have a metallic back and what looks like small glass areas at the top and at the bottom. It's expected to be thinner than the iPhone 4. Now let's show you the front. It might not look all that different, but the screen is actually bigger. It is the same width, but it's taller, making the new iPhone longer than the current model. And at the bottom, you can see a few more changes. The headphone jack is now on the bottom of the phone, and the old dock connector, that plug is gone. It's now much smaller than before. Now, iLab says that they built the iPhone from repair parts that have leaked out. But Apple has a reputation for secrecy, so how did these parts leak out to begin with? Jonathan Geller is the president editor-in-chief of the tech site Boy Genius Report. He joins us now. Jonathan, you've dealt with plenty of leaks and scoops from the tech world. So how do we know that these pics are for real?
You know, you can't know that they're for real. At this point, so many parts have leaked out of Asia and other places that they're all similar. So this is a very high probability of what the iPhone 5 is actually going to be.
And why do these leaks take place? I mean, why do so many of these parts get out?
I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. One of them is, you know, Apple has grown. There's a lot more people interested in Apple, and as a result, Apple has to make more products and they have to do them faster. And, you know, there are a lot of manufacturing partners, especially in Asia. There's a lot of factories. There's hundreds of thousands of employees there. And, you know, it's very, very hard to control all of that. You also have an issue of basically just simply commerce. A lot of case manufacturers in Asia and across the world want to be ready for the new case design so they can sell that case the day the new iPhone comes out. And a lot of times they'll work with workers at the factory to get those case designs. And that's just kind of one reason why we kind of see a lot of this stuff.
And so given all those factors, leaks are just bound to happen. But given all we know, do you think there'll be any surprises?
I mean, it's Apple. There's definitely going to be some surprises. There are a few things that have been rumored that I've heard that haven't been released yet. Things like new, you know, photography modes in the iPhone, upgraded camera. There's also a bunch of other things Apple said to announce besides the iPhone today. Most likely a totally revamped iPod lineup with new iPod Touch, iPod Nano, a larger screen iPod Touch. And, you know, you kind of have to wait for Tim Cook and Phil Schiller and Scott Forstall to get on stage and go through it. I'm sure there's some stuff that we have not seen.
And let's go big picture and talk about the power of Apple. I mean, the iPhone is a solid phone. It's a great phone, but Samsung makes great phones. And Nokia, they make phones with bigger screens. Samsung, they have a phone with a mobile payment chip, the NFC chip. I mean, everyone has switched to 4G except Apple. It can go on and on. But why is the iPhone still at the top? Why is the iPhone still the smartphone to beat?
I mean, I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think one is Apple invented the smartphone. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, but they really did invent that entire experience that we take for granted today. Just the fluidity of being able to touch your contacts and scroll through a list of music or have a full web browser on your phone. Those were things that no manufacturer in the world was doing before Apple. So I think it's really important to remember that they're the ones who pioneered this, and they're the ones who are forward-thinking enough to put this together. I think that's one of the reasons why they're still so far ahead of their competitors. But like you said, a lot of their competitors are gaining on them, and I think it's one extremely important reason why Apple has to continue to innovate and stay at the forefront of the smartphone market.
So apps, iTunes being there first, that's been what's been able to help Apple. But what can Samsung, Motorola, Nokia, even we'll throw in Research in Motion into the mix, what can they do to topple Apple?
I mean, it's a really hard question. I think those companies are literally asking themselves that right now, this second, or have for the past 12 or 24 months. I think it's really difficult. It's an incredibly competitive space. RIM has a lot of challenges. Nokia has a lot as well. And Nokia's really attached itself to Microsoft, which is a good situation for them. It's just hard to get traction nowadays when Android and Apple's iOS are so far in the lead.